cameras couldn't see. Planting the seed for the future of the tree. No name on the banner, no shouting in the square, just a quiet kind of kindness in the heavy, smoky air. He gave his last silver to a brother in the dark, without any audience to witness the spark. The world calls him nothing, the world calls him small, but in the eyes of the Jah, he's the tallest of them all. Integrity's a coin that is hidden in the hand, the only kind of currency that Jah can understand. The herb is a lens that shows the way the deed, far away from the theater of the hunger and the greed. Silence is the honor, the secret is the prize. We're winning a battle that is hidden from their eyes. Souls for a moment in the sight, but the truest of the saints are the ones we never knew, the ones who did the right thing when the witnesses were few. It's a slow, steady fire, a warmth that doesn't roar, keeping the spirit from the lock and the door. Jah is the memory of the things they forgot, the value of the man in the unrecorded spot. Keep it quiet, do it right. Jah knows, Jah knows. Leave it down. Do it right. Jah knows, Jah knows. Of marble, I built a face of stone to hide the fragile marrow and the shivering of bone. A yes for every question, a smile for every lie, a colorful curtain for the weeping of the eye. I was a master of the theater, a king of the charade, living in the shadow of the plans that I had made. But the smoke is a solvent that eats the glue away, revealing the rot in the middle of the day. The marble started cracking, the stone began to peel, exposing the man who is terrified and real. The theater is empty and the lights have gone cold. The story of the hero is a story that is old. Jah isn't looking for the person you pretend, but the broken, honest spirit heavier than the height of the wall. The eye within the eye is finally coming through. The only part of being that is ancient and true. We spend our lives decorating the prison of the skin, afraid of the silence that is living deep within. We trade our own rhythm for a popular song, just to feel like we're right when we're hollow and wrong. But tonight the fire is sharp and the lens is cold, and the story of the acting is a story that is told. I'm sitting in the wreckage of the man I used to be, finding that the ruins are the only way to see. Jah is the architect who builds from the ground, the only kind of house where the peace can be found. No more borrowed smiles, no more painted eyes, standing in the sunlight where the theater dies. Let it crack, find the soul. Jah is real, Jah is real. Until it's just a grade to optimize the spirit and to regulate the rain. Make it smooth, make it fast, make it fit the machine, smoothing out the texture of the in-between. But the herb is a teacher that honors the rough, the value of the heavy and the unpolished stuff. I'm looking at the rock with the lichen and the moss, finding the gain in the beautiful loss. The friction is the fire, the knot is the bone. There is a sacred logic in the uncarved stone. The cracks are where the wisdom is allowed to grow, in the parts of the spirit that the world doesn't know. Jah isn't in the polish, he isn't in the shine, he's in the raw edge and the bending of the vine. Don't optimize the marrow, don't refine the soul. The fragment is holy, it doesn't need to be whole. Efficiency is a ghost that is eating the man, destroying the rhythm of the holy human span. Stay rough, stay slow, stay unrefined, leaving the noise of the market behind. A garden too clean is a hollow kind of sight. I'll keep my heavy walk and my slow dragging tongue. The truest of the hymns are the ones roughly sung. Let the world have the speed and the cold hard steel. I'll take the rust and the things I can feel. Jah is the presence in the uneven and the deep. The secrets that the unpolished spirit will keep. The uncarved stone is a temple in its own, a kingdom that is built from the seeds I have sown. There is truth in the jagged, there is peace in the grain. The ancient ignorance of the rock in the rain. Stay raw. Keep the edge. Jah is raw. Jah is raw. A garment for the soul, a short-term contract for the spirit to behold. I used to worry for the wrinkles and the gray, afraid of the moment when the walls begin to fray. But the smoke showed the tenant, the one who lives within, the ancient light that's hiding underneath the skin. I'm just a guest in this house of the bone and the breath, walking through the valley of the life and the death. Jah is the landlord, I'm just passing through, doing the work that I was sent here to do. The herb is the window where the spirit can see that the host isn't the man and the man isn't me. Celebrate the journey, celebrate the short stay. Oh, we're all just travelers at the end of the day. Yeah, yeah. Why build a palace for a night in the rain? Why carry the heavy and the hollow and the vain? I'm traveling light now, with no luggage in my hand, walking on the dust of the holy borrowed land. The bones will return to the salt and the stone, but the rhythm of the Jah is a thing I've always known. Don't fear the departure, don't fear the empty room. The spirit is a flower that is always in the bloom. Moving on, just a guest. Jah is oh, 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 oh. Jah is oh, 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 oh. I used to be a river, flowing for every eye to see, giving away the water of the I and the me. but a river that is shallow will soon turn into dust, trading its mystery for the people's easy trust. Now I've built a wall around the center of the mind, leaving the noise and the thirsty world behind. There is a secret in the smoke that only Jah can hear, a language of the spirit that is private and clear. Not everything is meant for the market or the light. Some truths are holy only in the middle of the night. The herb is the key to the Gingnook form, where the rhythm is heavy and the silence is long. Jah is the witness to the things I'll never tell, the peace that is found at the bottom of the well. We are taught to be open, to be loud, to be known, as if a soul was meant to be a public stepping stone. But the deeper you go, the less you need to speak to the hungry and the hollow and the seekers of the weak. My silence is a fortress, my mystery is a shield, protecting the harvest of the internal field. Jah is the stillness when the theater is all gone, the secret conversation from the dusk until the dawn. Deep water, quiet soul, Jah is here. the shadows in the lives of the men, that I forgot how to be a human being once again. Jah is the Savior, I am just a man of the dust and the bone, working within the small heat of the spirit that I own. I can't walk your miles and I can't breathe the air for your lungs. I can't be the voice for the secrets of 1,000 tongues. Step back from the fire, let the others go through on their own. The only soul I can save is the one that I've always known. Boundaries are holy, boundaries are the logic of the grace. Respecting the distance and the rhythm of the individual space. Compassion is a river, not a drowning and a heavy sea. It shouldn't take the life or the spirit out of you or of me. Each man has a valley he must walk in the dark and alone, to find the internal and the sacred and the ancient stone. To interfere is to steal the weight of the lesson they need. To plant a hollow garden where there was meant to be a seed. Jah is the wisdom in the letting them fall and to stand, without the meddling and the heavy and the desperate hand. I stand at the threshold, I keep my own peace and my light, letting the world find its own way through the middle of the night. My limit, your path. Let it go, let it go. Let it go, let it go. Whoa, whoa, yeah. No shouting at the altar, no thumping on the heavy chest, no begging for a medal or a place above the rest, no public throwing up the stones or the hollow and the loud. I don't need to prove my spirit to the ghost of the crowd. Just a quiet Saturday morning and a jar of the green, a private conversation that is meant to be felt, not seen. A promise to the mirror, a promise to the soul and the bone, to keep the internal and the sacred kingdom as my own. Living the truth in the small and the unrecorded way, finding the Jah in the middle of the ordinary day. Jah is the witness to the things that we never even say, the silent yes at the start and the end of the day. To walk a bit slower, to speak a bit more true to the light, trust the eye and the eye in the deep and the sacred sea. Integrity is the secret that you keep with your own heart. The only place where the healing and the wholeness start. Honor isn't a trophy to be polished on a public shelf. It's a contract of the spirit that you make with yourself. The herb is the witness, the smoke is the seal and the mark. On a promise of the marrow and a promise of the spark. To not betray the silence, to not betray the root, to let the integrity be the only and the sacred fruit. The world wants a performance, the world wants a show, but Jah is in the depth where the quiet and the honest grow. I fold my hands in the shadow and I breathe in the deep. Promises that the spirit is finally strong enough to keep. I promise, just me. Jah knows, Jah knows, Jah knows.
The sun is going down on the work of the day. I've said all the things that the Spirit had to say. No more chasing the horizon, no more begging for the wind. I found the center where the journeys all begin. The cupboard is lean, but the heart is a well, with a story that the silence is finally able to tell. The herb is a fading coal in the cool of the night, revealing the sufficiency of the internal light. I don't need a miracle, I don't need a sign. When I'm feeling the job in this body of mine, the shadows are long and the world is at rest, finding the peace in the end of the quest. Knowing enough is the ultimate throne, a king with a garden and a heart of his own. Jah is the fullness in the empty and the still, the quiet satisfaction of a settled will. No more hunger for the silver or the gold. The treasure of the spirit is the truth that is old. I am sitting in the quiet, I am sitting in the deep. Secrets that the world is not meant to keep. Yeah. We spend our lives running for the something more, forgetting the treasure that was already at the door. But tonight the smoke is a bridge to the ends, the simple heavy logic of a moment like this.
towers, they're shouting from the hill, trying to bend the spirit to a collective will. Go left, go right, follow the path of the wise, while they're selling you the maps with the clever little lies. I used to check the compass that was in another's hand, walking like a stranger on the holy native land. But the smoke is a silence that lets the signal through, a private conversation between the I and the you. I don't need a marker and I don't need a sign when I'm feeling the rhythm of the internal design. The road is not a line, it's a feeling in the chest, moving with the current, ignoring all the rest. Jai is in the billboard on the side of the road, but a feeling of lightness in the middle of the load. The herb is the needle that points to the north, giving me the courage to finally step forth. No more asking for the where or the how. Jai is the peace in the deep of the now. Trust the vibration, trust the pulse of the heart. The only true map is the one where you start. The crowd is a river that is flowing to the sea, dragging all the people who are afraid to be free. But I'm standing on the bank with the dirt on my feet, watching the chaos and the hunger and the heat. If the breath feels wide and the step feels right, I don't need a lantern in the middle of the night. Jah is the logic that the mind cannot hear, a frequency of being that is quiet and clear. I'm turning the wheel where the road has no name, finding a kingdom that has no use for the fame. It's a long walk home to a place I've never been, guided by the stillness that is living deep within. Feel the way, no signs. Jah, 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 Jah is north. Jah, 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 Jah.
Shadow meets the heavy iron gate, a man who doesn't argue with the timing of his fate. No name on the payroll that the bosses care to read, just a silent observer of the hunger and the greed. He sweeps away the glass before the children start to run, working in the spirit of the long-forgotten son. I watched him in the smoke through the lens of the leaf, a guardian of peace, a commander of relief. He doesn't need a thank you, he doesn't need a light. He's the steady rhythm in the middle of the night. Jai is the witness to the work that has no name, the fire that is burning without a hunger for the fame. Integrity is found in the way he holds the line, when no one is watching the internal design. The herb is the witness, the smoke is the seal on a contract of honor that is holy and real. We're protected by the people who are invisible and small, the ones who are the pillars of the leaning wall. The world is a stage where the hollow actors play, chasing off the silver in a very loud way. But this man is the anchor, the secret, the core, holding back the chaos from the knock on the door. He finds his own kingdom in a quiet cup of tea, a private conversation between Jah and the me. There is power in the silence, there is glory in the still, the slow steady grinding of a dedicated will. When the history is written, his face won't be there, but he's the reason why the spirit has a breath of air. The weight of the world rests on shoulders we don't see, the quiet architects of a world that is free. Unnamed God, steady hand, just
if you're ready to bend or to break. It doesn't care for the shelter or the fortress you make. It comes with the thunder and it comes with the salt and the cold, testing the spirit of the young and the spirit of the old. So I sit on the porch with my back to the storm and the gray. One coal in the pipe to keep the heavy shadows at bay. It's not about dodging the rain or the sting of the air, but choosing the posture of the spirit in the middle of despair. I don't run for the cellar, and I don't run for the door. I've learned what the roots and the spirit are finally for. Whoa, Jah doesn't promise a sky without the gray and the rain, but the strength to stand steady in the middle of the pain. The herb is the anchor, the smoke is the shield and the light, teaching the spirit how to hold its own ground in the night. Oh. Resilience is the architecture of the bone, standing in the gale with a peace that is mine alone. Suffering is a season that the spirit must witness and know. The only way the deeper and the sacred roots can grow. If the sun was always shining, the well would surely run dry, and we'd never know the logic of the dark and the open sky. I choose my position, I plant my feet deep in the dust, building up the iron and the iron of the internal trust. The wind can howl and the wind can tear at the skin, but it can't touch the quiet that is living deep within. Jah is the stillness at the center of the howling and the fast, the one who remains when the storm has finally passed. Yeah. Stand firm. Back to the wind. The root holds. The root holds. Thinking the spirit could be bought with a heavy hand, a gold-plated altar and a suit of the finest silk, feeding the ego with the white and the honey milk. But in the clarity of the smoke, the cracks began to show, the rot beneath the surface that you didn't want to know. It's a beautiful cage you've built for your weary soul, trying to make a fragment look like a shining hole. Jah isn't impressed by the shimmer or the shine. He's looking at the root and the bending of the vine. The herb is a fire that burns the gold away, leaving only the iron in the heat of the day. Don't polish the rust, don't hide the honest scar. Truth is much heavier than the person you think you are. The shell is the seed, trading the internal for the hunger and the greed. But a man in a palace can be a beggar in his heart if he doesn't know where the lies and the truth part. I'd rather have a wooden bowl and a spirit that is clean than a kingdom of mirrors where the king is never seen. Jah is the weight of the thing that is raw and real, the only kind of treasure that the spirit can feel. Real iron, no gold. Jah knows, Jah knows. The main road is crowded and the signs are all screaming and loud. Everyone is following the heavy and the hollow ghost of the crowd. They say go this way for the silver, go that way for the light, while they're leading you deeper
automatic of the right and the wrong, and listen to the rhythm of the Spirit's own and private song. No markers, no miles, no getting there fast and the same. I'm finding my own logic, and I'm finding my own name. Jah doesn't point with a hand or a loud and a public sign, but a feeling of peace on a jagged and a difficult line. The herb is the lens that brings the far and the distant near, helping the spirit to finally and to truly hear. Yeah, it's a walk in the dark, but the heart is a steady sun. The journey of the soul has only just and finally begun. Trust the vibration, trust the pulse that is living within. The only true direction is the one underneath the skin. No more asking for the where or the who from the wise. I'm seeing through the theater, and I'm seeing through the lies. If the rhythm feels steady and the breath feels heavy and wide, then Jah is the ocean and Jah is the rising of the tide. No, 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 we're taught to be afraid of the path that has no stone, as if we were never meant to walk the world all alone. But the beauty of the danger is the only way to be free from the cages of the damned and the cages of the mean. Follow the signal until the noise of the city is gone, into the quiet and the sacred light of the Saturday dawn. No signs, just peace. Walk on, walk on. Ooh.
Years of salt and walls of stone we built between our names. Two brothers walking lonely roads, playing the ancient games. The sorry felt like iron, the wife felt like a ghost, caught in the frozen harbor where we needed the spirit most. We spent a lifetime sharpening the words we meant to say, but the smoke doesn't care for the history books or the debts we cannot pay. It doesn't ask for a map of the wounds or the reasons for the pride. It just thins the air until there's nowhere left for the ego to hide. In the cloud of the green, the friction starts to fade, leaving only the memory of the brothers that the Jah has made. Jah is the bridge when the words fall short of the heart, the silent harbor where the healing and the wholeness start. Past the earth, let the fire do the talking for the soul. No need to mend the fragment when the spirit is finally whole. No explanation
a mirror that shows only what they wanna see. A costume of kindness, a mask of the I and the me. I'm a saint in the sun, I'm a king in the middle of the street, measuring the rhythm and the logic of the people I meet. I perform the goodness, I perform the heavy and the wise, selling a version of the truth to the hunger in their eyes. But the night is a judge that I cannot deceive or delay, when the smoke is the only thing left at the end of the day. The theater goes dark and the audience drifts into the night, leaving me alone with the clarity of the internal light. Jah is the witness when the door is locked heavy and tight. The eye in the dark, the consistency of the internal light. The herb strips the theater, it burns the applause and the fame, revealing the man who lives behind the title and the name. Integrity's the shape of the soul when no one is there. A private kind of holiness in the smoky and the quiet air. No more performance, no more standing on the stage. I'm reading the secrets from the Spirit's own unwritten page. When there's no one left to clap or to judge, am I a man of the stone or a man of the hollow and the sludge? The smoke is a solvent that eats the makeup and the pride, showing me the parts of the spirit I was trying to hide. Jah doesn't care for the public prayer or the holy post. Looking at the garden and the way the internal grows. If the truth is a lie when the lights of the city go down, then I'm just a beggar wearing a heavy and a paper crown. Consistency is the marrow, consistency is the bone. The strongest revolution is the one that is fought all alone. No audience, just the soul. Stay true, stay true.
I used to wear the collars and the heavy and the tangled hair, making sure the world knew that the job was finally there. Playing the part of the saint and the prophet and the sage, a character trapped in a spiritual and a hollow cage. I spoke the holy words and I walked the proper and the slow, straining to make sure that the whole of the world would know. But the herb burned the costume and it burned a heavy pride, revealing the hollow that was living and was hungry inside. I found I was a stranger in a costume of my own design, trading the essence for the image and the banner and the sign. Jah isn't a fashion, Jah isn't a public and a loud show. He's the depth of the water that the simple and the honest know. Strip away the labels and the proper ways to stand and be, finding the truth in the man who is finally and truly free. Hey. Oh. Hey. No more performance, no more correct and the right, just the raw spirit in the middle of the cold and the night. An honest heart in a plate and a simple cotton shirt is better than a liar in the sacred and the holy dirt. Oh, 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 oh. The world loves the theater, the world loves the holy pose, but Jah is in the sound and the root, not the name of the rose. I'm throwing off the robes and I'm throwing off the crown, letting the temple of the dread finally crumble down. I'd rather be a human with a heart that is raw and real than a statue of a saint that has forgotten how to feel. The smoke shows the marrow, the smoke shows the bone, the beauty of the spirit when it stands all on its own. Less of the Rasta, more of the man and the grace, finding the eternity in the lines of an honest face, just real. No match. Jah is hard. Jah is hard.
Yeah, standing out of line. Yeah, the storm came down and took the roof. The fire found the door. I'm standing in the ashes on the cold and heavy floor. I used to count the losses like a man in a silver cage, thinking my life was written on a dark and a disappearing page. I was mourning the gold and I was mourning hollow fame, until the smoke cleared the wreckage and revealed my real name. I looked at the debris and I looked at the morning light, finding the things that are holy and heavy and right. It's not the palace that makes the king, it's the peace in the chest, the ability to find a stillness in the middle of the quest. One breath in the lungs, one seed in the tired hand, one pocket of herb from the holy and the borrowed land. Jah isn't in the more, but in the logic of the still here, the architecture of the spirit that is finally wide and clear. Knowing enough is the ultimate throne for the soul, a fragment of the Jah that makes the broken man whole. I'm counting the scraps and I'm calling them a feast, finding the greatest power in the humble and the least. except for the path he follows under the vast and the open sky. I don't need the labels and I don't need the hollow praise. I'm grateful for the rhythm of the slow and the steady day. Jah is the anchor in the shallow and the dark and the deep. The few sacred things that the honest soul is meant to keep. The garden is small, but the roots are reaching down. Beneath the noise of the market and the shadow of the town, I have enough. I am whole. Jah is the rule. Jah is the and the streets are a heavy and a dark fire. The world is a chorus of 1,000 and a hollow liar. They're screaming about the end and they're screaming about the fall, building up the fear behind the heavy and the stone wall. But I'm in the garden with the dirt on my hands and my knees, talking to the spirit of the tomorrow and the sacred tree. I'm Gale hot Ganja in the cool and the quiet of the morning air, not as a business, but as a silent and a holy prayer. Let the world shake and let the kingdoms crumble and slide. I'm staying with the root and I'm staying with the internal tide. Jah is the hope in the steady movement of the hand. Gale hot Ganja across the holy and the borrowed land. Not for the silver, not for the profit or the hollow gold, but for the story of the spirit that is yet to be told. Keep on planting while the world turns heavy and round. Jah is the life that is living in the sacred ground. Resilience is a seed, resilience is the rhythm of the day. Finding the future in the honest work and the holy play. Whoa, 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 one small action again and again through the thick and the thin. A rhythm of peace for the spirit that is living within. They can burn the field, but they can't burn a dream of the light. The ancient persistence in the middle of the dark and the night. Yeah, I'm looking at the earth with a grower's and a steady eye, knowing that the truth is a thing that will never truly die. The future is a harvest that we're building in the here and now, with the sweat of the spirit and the sweat of the honest brow. Jah is the patience